Hey guys, it's Anthony Romrell, and in this video, we want to talk about how memory works in Unity. So let's first of all talk about scenes. So I have a scene right here. Let's just save this particular one. This is score. We'll call it score 2. We'll save it in our scenes folder. And so inside my assets folder, I have a scenes folder, and I have all these scenes. Now, how Unity works is these are just text files. And we know they're just text files because if we were to go to our Git Kraken account, you'll see that I have some Unity files here, and there they are. These are just text files. Now, they are not Unity scenes. They are text files that have instructions for a Unity scene. Once you double click one, like if I double click this one right here and load this up, this instantiates this scene. So it takes this text file, creates an instance of it, and loads it into memory. So every time you open another one, it takes that other scene out of memory, out of your RAM, and then puts a new scene into memory. So what happens is these scenes are not loaded in memory, so they have no way to communicate with any other scenes. These are just cookie cutters, and when this is open, it instantiates it, and this is the cookie, if that makes sense at all, right? So what that means is it's impossible to share something like a score between elements. So you cannot share a score without heavy code between scenes, because scenes are loaded into memory. They're instantiated into memory. So to solve that, what we have are these things called scriptable objects. So I have, for example, a score scriptable object, and this score scriptable object has what's called a value. And this value is loaded on the hard drive. This is not loaded into memory. This is always on your drive. And it's written by scenes. So, for example, if I go to a scene, if I go to one of my scenes right here and open up this score UI and push play, it's pulling the score from this score scriptable object, right? So if I go to scriptable objects, I've got a score scriptable object here. And in this case, it's using a MyScore. So I have a 35 here. It's using MyScore. There's the associated 35, right? So this scene has been loaded into memory from Unity. It's then referencing a file that is on the hard drive that contains a value, right? Now, the other thing we have is a separation of concerns. So in this object, I have a canvas. This is a separate object loaded into memory than the coin. And we want to keep things separated, right? So we don't want our coins to ever directly know about this text file. So what we do is an association with these things called game actions. So in this particular case, this contains functions and can send function calls. So, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty of this in the next couple of videos as to why this works. But what you really want is you want the coin to do what the coin does and the text file to do what the text file does and have no direct relationship. So the coin doesn't know anything about the text file, and the text file object doesn't know anything about the coin, and the player knows nothing about any of them. The player will do what the player is supposed to do, the coin does its job, the text does its job, and they all work completely independently. But they're going to need to respond to calls. That's when these game actions, so I have this update score game action, it's going to get called in the next couple videos that I'm going to show you.